In this video, I will attempt to analyze a sequence from the animated film Ratatouille. It's the sequence where the audiences are first introduced to the kitchen of the Gusto restaurant, the main character Linguini and the villain Skinner. The sequence opens with a long take to familiarize the audiences with the kitchen environment. We first see a cooking station, and on top of it, a dish is being prepared. The camera follows the arm movement of the characters in shot. The cook from the right puts the food onto the plate, the cook from the left takes the dish to the service area, and a waiter comes in to take it out into the dining hall. From there, we get a sneak peek of the dining hall, and then following another waiter coming into the kitchen. The take then ends with a wide angle shot that lets the audience see the whole of the kitchen. In this shot, there are two groups of characters, each on left and right third of the frame, creating a balanced composition, making the kitchen seem busy and crowded, while still leaving the middle third of the frame to show the depth of the room. And then we cut to a medium close-up of a pan on stove. The hand at the bottom right corner, the pan, and the plates at the top left forms a diagonal line across the frame, and with perspective lines going from bottom left to top right, creates a golden triangle composition. The movement of the hand parallels to that of the diagonal line, making the gesture easy to read. The camera then tilts up to reveal whom the hand belongs to. Affinity is created with the vertical lines in this frame parallel to the gesture line of the cook, but then it was broken up by some other objects in the frame to give emphasis to the cook. He calls out to show that he has received the order, which is followed by a medium shot of another character calling out in turn. In this frame, the previous cook appears small at the right-hand side. The character at the front of the shot repeats the action of the previous one, setting up the rhythm for a smooth transition. And this technique is going to be repeated again in the next shot. Notice what she does to the spoon and what the next character is doing. He's also using a spoon. The negative space in the shot leads our eyes to focus on the character. He then puts down the spoon and sprinkles a pinch of salt into the pan, foreshadowing the action of the next shot. And here our protagonist is introduced. The fire started up by the alcohol becomes the symbol of his situation at that moment in the story. The shot is positioned as if he is emerging from the fire. He is placed at the center of the frame, with leading lines that guide our eyes to him, but at the same time appears small in the frame and therefore powerless, and is trapped by his surroundings. Then right afterwards, we cut to another long take and we see the villain Chef Skinner enters the scene. He's quite small, that while the camera is tracking him, he's constantly being blocked by workstation and kitchenware. But we can still tell that he's ironically a man with power because everyone he passes by greets him politely, and his tall chef hat goes outward at the top, giving his character more weight. He walks to the position just right past Chef LaRose, facing Linguini, our main character, as he approaches. This allows the composition of this shot. We can see Chef Skinner standing in between Linguini and the rest of the kitchen and its crew members, acting as a physical barrier. The faces of both characters each occupy one point of the grid, which makes them the main subjects of the frame. And the positions of the Skinner's face and Linguini's also fits into golden ratio, which enhances the relationship between both characters. Chef Skinner's role as a barrier is even more obvious in the shot reverse shot. His body literally splits the frame into two, Linguini and the rest of the kitchen. Although this is a low angle shot, but Chef Skinner appears bigger in the frame and Linguini smaller and with an anxious gesture, which displays the power dynamic of the two characters. After the shot reverse shot, the camera cuts to a medium close-up, which allows the audiences to see the facial expression of Linguini clearly, and the flat background gives us the sense that he's being trapped. This rhythm was then repeated again. Shot reverse shot. Medium close-up. When Linguini hands Chef Skinner the letter, we see another character coming from frame right, walk past them and disappear into frame left. This foreshadows the next shot. When Linguini expresses his wish to acquire a position in the kitchen, she walks from frame right to left, into the kitchen again. Even as Chef Skinner is leaving for his office, he's still the barrier that separates Linguini and Chef LaRose. And even after Chef Skinner decides to hire him, he was still being separated from the kitchen by a pillar. It was until this frame, when Linguini was finally standing beside the kitchen without any obstacles or a line of separation, although we can still see him being trapped at the middle third of the frame. And now he's finally part of the kitchen, and that's the end of the sequence.